Modi was very aggressive. He has built his reputation on communalism. Ram Temple in Ayodhya was done in Congress rule. They have also occupied our economic spaces. Ved Bhasin was a very respected person. That they were the first who cheated on us.
Assalamu alaikum, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Viewers, hope you are fine. Today with us, Dr. Mubeen Shah is a known Kashmiri leader and a businessman. He is based in Turkey. And after a very long time, again, we are able to take his interview. Thank you very much, Dr. Shah, for your time for our show, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There is election in India. And it is possible that Modi Saab come into power again. And it is also possible, if we see the social media of India, that Congress is taking the lead. If Modi Saab is coming into power again, what would be the situation in Jammu and Kashmir? And if Congress is coming into power, then how do you see the situation in future?
So to tell you very frankly, I'm very frank about it, that, for us, Kashmiris both are almost same. The only difference is that Modi was very aggressive and he was very open about it. While the Congress does it subtly, they do it in a clandestine manner, you can say the same thing. They will do it with, let us say, 10 years, this guy will do it in 2 years. This is the difference, the 2 or 3 years, because he has built his reputation on communalism. And while as Congress is in the eyes of a lot of people in India as a secular country, party, which if we go back in history and see, the worst communal rights have been during Congress rule. The opening of the where they built that Ram Temple in Ayodhya was done in Congress rule. It was, they opened up that place, and it was actually the lock was opened during Rajiv Gandhi's time. So I can say this thing, that yes, there may be some sort of relief to Kashmiris, in the sense that it will not, what things they have planned, they have put in place, it may take more time. Than what will happen during Modi's time. Modi's time, they have done what they had told in their election manifesto previously, that they will remove 370. They removed it. They got the majority. They removed it. They didn't listen to any rule, law, everything. So although we know that it was completely illegal. Now he has got the stamp of the Supreme Court also. As we know, in the case of Kashmir, their Supreme Court is as complacent as anybody else in crushing Kashmiris. And so for us, it may not make much difference, except that only time period will be different. That is all. This is all what I can say. And because whatever, because I last time also I told, in one of our discussions with Rahul Gandhi, I was very, very, very aggressive. I was very clear and told him that, because once in 2014, which I mentioned last time also, that because of floods, no money came and all that. And he told, no, BJP will never give any money, this thing, that thing. So I said, what you people have done in 10 years rule, you have not even given our power projects back, which are our property, which are already, more than 35 years have passed. And it was supposed to come back to us. Your government never gave it back. So they have also occupied our economic spaces during their rule, and they were the first. What do you say about that? That they were the first who cheated on us. That who had promised us that, the people of Kashmir will be asked what they want. That then the Congress main person at that time, Jawaharlal Nehru, deceitful, it took time, and they thought that with time people will lose interest and all that. But times did not remain the same. Yeah, there was a lull between 1953 to 1963. Then again it came up. Then again in the 70s. Then again in the 1980s. So this is a cycle which will go on till there is settlement of Kashmir as per the wishes of the Kashmiris people. This is my belief, and this is what it is. See, I was just reading today. I had written to one of my relatives in Azad Kashmir one time. When I was last time in Pakistan, in Azad Kashmir. So that relative of ours I consider him the first sort of freedom fighter from our family, in an extended family, you can say that, and he had been exiled from Kashmir by Sheikh Abdullah's government in 1947, exiled by him because he was alleged to have thrown a grenade on him, and he was actually arrested on the day of his marriage and then exiled after that. And he was exchanged with some major or somebody who of Gilgit-Baltistan, of the Indian Army. I don't remember the name of the gentleman, the army major, and then. Now, when I went to Azad Kashmir, I met his children. She is a doctor, and she said to me, "Why did you take this mantle again, and you are exiled now, and all that? We know how much difficulties we faced as children of our father who had done the same thing in 1947." So I stopped for some time, and then I said to her, "Okay, I understand your feelings and I understand the hardships you have gone through in the initial period, and now you are well settled, alhamdulillah. But I said to her that, did you ask him when you felt that he is, going from this world, that what will be his opinion today about the same thing?" So, and she replied, "I did ask him, and he told me I will do again the same thing." So this is our thing, we have gone on this path, and we know what we have to face and what we have not to face.
Shah Sahab, you are right. You are right, and we respect your opinion. However, Congress has alliance with many parties in India, and Muslims, they are supporting Congress as well. Do you not think that the Muslim leadership in Congress would influence Congress leadership to have liberal policies vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir, and to change the policies which Modi Saab has adopted?
They have in their manifesto told about that, statehood thing, and security in regard to land and jobs, which Ladakh is also demanding, for example. So if they do to that extent, it will be good for Kashmiris to that extent, because that is because I have been telling all along, 370 was hollow already. The only thing which was giving us some security was that of 35A, that was the land was not, nobody could buy land, and in Kashmir, and outsiders could not settle. So that is the one of the things, and if they reintroduce that, because it is in other states of some states of Northeast, it is there in the Indian Constitution, which was not removed when 370 was removed in our case, and I don't think it should be a problem, provided Congress comes in that strength to change it. And that is the only thing, that is the only relief they can give. And if they are serious about it, if they are serious about it, or else this is all lip service, they will take out further years, and at the same time complete the process which Modi has started, not in 2 years, but in 10 years, down the line.
Shah Sahab, there is a story on Kashmir Times. This story was written by Ved Basir in 2002-2003, but now it has appeared again by his daughter Anuradha Basir. What is the story, and how do you see this story?
You see, I tweeted about it also today. I saw it, and Ved Basir was a very respected person, editor of Kashmir Times, which was, you can say, precursor of a lot of newspapers in Kashmir, which are presently there. Kashmir, a lot of people who have worked in Kashmir Times are now having their own newspapers and all that. So that
he was non-Muslim.
He was a non-Muslim. He was a Jammuite. He was in Jammu. And in this article, which she has shared, or she has again republished it, is basically because he gave this speech that what had happened in 1947, because a lot of people do not know, not even in Kashmir. For example, in Kashmir, Gandhi used to say that's the only ray of hope in the communal frenzy in whole over India. Because Kashmir was the only place where Hindus were not touched. Kashmir Valley I'm talking about. But we do not know, because at those times the communication was not such that the people in Kashmir would know that what has happened to the Muslims in Jammu in 1947. We came to know much later on. And our generation don't even know that. When we came to know more details of it, when an author wrote a book on Jammu killings after, I think, 2008 or 2009, full detail. But this gentleman in this speech has completely described what had happened during 1947, how the Muslims were killed by the state, by the help of the state, by the Maharaja's forces, Patiala forces. He mentions it, how it was done. Although he does try to balance it in the sense that, the Muslims also, in Mirpur and all killed Hindus. But the main thing was that these Muslims were hounded. They were then transported in buses and trucks, and then along the way to Sialkot, they were killed by the precursors of the Jansan or BJP, you can say. And he has written in detail that how it happened, and he was considered to be a person who was not communal, Mr. Ved Basir, who was for a brotherhood of Hindus and Muslims. Actually, my interaction with him was that during which I mentioned, and which I have written in my tweet also, that in 2008, when I was the president of the chamber, because during that speech he had written that the communal amity is very good and all that, but he did not foresee that in 2008 again communal frenzy in a way will prop up. And when the 2008 happened, and the Jammu people put an economic blockade on us, which finally economic blockade in 2008. And I, being president of the chamber, we had to devise a mechanism or a model to subvert that, to counter that. So with the help of, at that time, fortunately for us, the Sikh traders in Punjab came out to our help, and we bypassed Jammu. See, Jammu is an arterial route through which our exports, through our apple, through everything goes through Jammu, you see. So, and at that time, and then, because of that, when we bypassed Jammu, their trade got affected in the sense that because their maximum business was in Kashmir. We we in retaliation did not take any goods from Jammu. So then they came, and he accompanied the president of the Jammu Chamber of Commerce to Kashmir. And he wanted a meeting with me and all that, but I refused because of the reason, because the killings of our drivers during that economic blockade was because of the action of the chamber in a way, because then they put this economic, they were a part of the economic blockade. So I demanded that he should publicly disown it, which he did not do at that particular time. He did it, they did it afterwards, but at that point, so I did not talk. But he was considered a person who would like to try to bring, the Hindus and Muslims in that region together, and, because he would give these instances where he was a very active part of a student leader, and when he was a student in 1947, when he tried to help the Muslims who were, and he describes in this article, I think you should give in this program the link to that article, wherein it is completely 2-3 things are also important in this article. Is that what was the role of Gandhi during this 1947? Gandhi was sent specifically by Nehru. If you see the details written about Nehru and all that, and why Gandhi was sent by Nehru to convince the Maharaja to become a part of India. And after his visit, which he writes in the article, after his visit to Kashmir, the things changed in Kashmir. The prime minister was changed, who was a Kashmiri Pandit, who did not want, being a Kashmiri Pandit, he did not want Kashmir to become a part of India. He was removed. Another person, Janak Singh, was got in his place, and the thing towards India happened, and then the Maharaja came to Jammu, directed people in Jammu to kill Muslims, and where the first concept of change of demography comes in. He has written it in this article. You can read it. Once people will read it, they will understand it. This article, that's why I wrote this. It gives us the genesis of the problem of Kashmir and how it has manipulated, and how it was done without. And we are still at that point of time, Nehru deceitfully told the people of Kashmir that we will be given the choice, which was unfortunately held by those leaders at that point of time, Sheikh Abdullah and party, that they were believing on secularism and all that nonsense at that point of time, and result was that we are still occupied. And this article gives you a very, very maybe subtly, and not clearly, but once you read between the lines, that is what it is. And it also gives you an insight and to the bogus claim of India that that India, the Maharaja joined India on his own free will and all that. It was also because of the fact that the Pathans who came from the frontier provinces, they came to help Kashmiris who were up in arms in Mirpur and all. It is also written there. He gives that genesis also. So that way he has a truthful depiction of things, and it is important for people on both sides of the ceasefire line to understand our history completely, and as well as Pakistanis, and for that matter, Indians also, that they should know what is the truth, and it's not me writing; it's a Hindu writing, and we used to appreciate that type of thing, from the Hindus, of some Hindus on Jammu, who were truthful to what events had happened and how it had happened. And basically, because we wanted peace, there is no question about peace, but peace which will be, accepted by everybody of us as such. So that is what this article is, a very, very good article, and appropriate time, so that people can refresh their memories and refresh what had happened actually in 47 and why it happened like that, and who was responsible for it, and What was the role of Gandhi? Gandhi is considered a peacenik all over the world, and he was one of the main persons who has made us occupied.
Mm. Dr. Saab, there is another story on Washington Post, which is a reputable newspaper of United States of America, and they are writing that India is committing transnational killings. This article is written about the Indian targeting the Sikh people out of India, and they have also given the references of the Kashmiris which are killed in Pakistan. How do you see that article?
Sir, this article gives you an insight of what India is actually, what it is. It is now, although that article is helping Modi to a certain extent in the elections, because he has, even yesterday also I was seeing a statement, he said that, in Urdu, in Hindi, he said, "Ghus ke marenge." So, he was sort of referring to this thing only, that we are not, it is not that India which will give dossiers. He has even written that. He has even said that India is not of Congress time, dossiers, we'll give exchange dossiers. We will guske marenge. So that means they are behind all
Guske
these
marenge,
things. So,
guske marenge, does it mean that Modi Saab, if he is coming into power again, he would make Kashmir Gaza?
एक तो one is there, Gaza, that is Gaza is one part. Gaza, they will do, whoever is settled in Pakistan also, or who is settled in Turkey also, who is settled in any Kashmiri who is fighting for the rights of Kashmiris, they will go after him and kill them. This is what their plan is. This is what is called transnational repression. Now it is a specific word now has been created for this transnational repression of the governments. They are doing it, and previously you would see this type of thing with Russia. They will do with dissidents and all that, or not to that extent. I have never heard about China, but Russia we used to hear during our childhood that they will kill their dissidents even in the United States or even in the UK and all that. And we have to understand that the government of India is now having this, after Washington Post has already, before this, Guardian also gave it a very detailed article. Now Washington Post has come out. So this transnational repression is, this is in a way telling people or telling the world that we have arrived as a big power. India is feeling like that. They are feeling like that they can do and get away with it. They are getting away with it up till now, because there has been no accountability. Nothing has been done. For example, in Canada, the Canadian government did make a lot of noise, but not yet, no sanctions have been put. And lately, in this case also, which Washington Post has mentioned, the main culprit, the raw agency has not been implicated yet, and which may take a lot of time. But the point is this thing that we know, because being activists, Kashmiri activists outside India, and talking about what India is doing, we know that we are under surveillance, and through sources we have the knowledge that whenever somebody goes to their consulates, they are asking about us, what we are doing, what we are not doing, all that. And at the same time, even in some cases, in one instant case, a person went to India who is not from India, and he is a foreigner. He had to go for some meeting, and he was shown the photographs of his visit to our office in Turkey. So the point is that they are keeping watch on all the activists, and side by side, the biggest thing is that they are taking out narratives through certain handles, Twitter handles, which we know are basically most probably Indian state, where they are trying to create a narrative that activists are also terrorists. They have just a latest narrative. They have tried to build-up is that all these guys have been sponsored by the ISI, and they are basically terrorists. They are not activists, and to create that. See, unfortunately, after 9/11, countries like India have taken advantage of the situation in the world, and they have built upon whatever America does. They are copying it, and sort of suit their plans of pressurizing dissidents, pressurizing things, and not allowing people to speak about it. This may be true of other countries also. They may be doing also the same. But in our case, naturally, we are concerned in the sense that India is getting away with this transnational repression, and the other countries have to take note of it. Wherever we are, that's why lately our organization, the Kashmir Diaspora Coalition, gave a very detailed statement on this. And we are going to take further action on it to safeguard our people, our Kashmiri people, whoever in and whatever place they are in the world, and expose the Indian scheme of things, that that what they are doing, and for this such you can understand. The ruler of Saudi Arabia was for a pretty long time persona non grata, just for that. And these type of people should be personal. The Indian state itself should become personal, and particularly the people who are, and naturally the law is controlled and headed and controlled by the Prime Minister of India. And this is what is reflected in this article of Washington Post, that there is a likelihood of the close people who are around Mr. Modi are involved in it. And certainly when those people are involved, like the National Security Advisor, it is imperative that the Prime Minister himself is involved in all these things. And they are, by that, projecting themselves to be, the he-man of the world, and, particularly to Indians, that, we can do this, we can do that, we can go even to America, we can go to Canada, we can go to Turkey, we can all these things. So this is a part of their built up, and
Yes.
They have taken, actually, to tell you very frankly, they have taken advantage in the elections. Modi has taken advantage in the elections of this article also.
Shahzab, you're absolutely right. This is my last question. Though India believes that it has become a power, but recently John B. Scheimer, he paid visit to India. He told them that you are not a power. India is unable to get the status of the major power because there are two building blocks of major power. One is population, robust population, which India has, in fact. The other is the accumulation of the wealth, which India needs to have more accumulation of the wealth. So to believe that they have become a power, I mean, this is like dreaming in the daytime. Now, if this story is published in Washington Post, what do you think that this is compromising Indian image in the West? And Washington Post, which plays an important role in decision making in the United States of America, and is a very important newspaper which making the perception of American people and the people of the West.
You see, it may have according to me, until unless there is some concrete actions by the American government in the respect of sanctions against particular people who have done this or are doing this, so that there's a deterrence to these people, or else it is a lip service, or to put India under pressure so that it agrees to what they want them to do in the case of China. See, this is how the world operates, world politics operate, world things operate. You do one thing, I do another thing. This is we know this as people who are in this field of activism. We know why this is happening, why this is not happening, or what this is our perception, and this is what we feel. That it may be a pressure tactics. That is why it has come now. They knew it all along. They knew it all along, but now it has come up because if you can see the last 6 months or 7 months or 8 months, the thing they wanted to India to do against China is not coming to that level. Maybe because of that, they want them to, act more, or else, we have this stick with which to beat you. And that is true. America has a history like that. Unfortunately for us in the world, although we look towards it as the last bastion of freedom, but it has a history like that. But we have to take it with a pinch of salt and hope for the best for us, for our people, and as well as for the world.
Thank you very much, Shaza, for your time. Though Americans, they have also given human rights report on India, on Pakistan as well. Our foreign office has rejected that report. Indians also rejected that report. Anyway, thank you very much, Shasa, for your time and your analysis regarding two important stories published in Kashmir Post and Kashmir Today and
Kashmir
the Washington
Times.
Post, Kashmir Times and Washington Post. Thank you very much, sir. Viewers, you have listened the viewpoint of Dr. Mubeen Shah, and definitely we expect your comments regarding his analysis. In the next program, we will come up with the next with a new topic. See you again. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Thank you, Shasa.